So the first week of November is just wrapping up here, and this last week out in the woods has truly been incredible. There really is a reason why we place so much focus, so much time, effort, and energy around these 10 to 14 days out in the woods, because they really are special and there's so much that's going on and you have so many opportunities, it feels like. Now, going all the way back to Halloween, unfortunately, the start of all of this activity was a bad event for me. I actually had the best buck that's been hanging out on my property all summer long. Most of the fall, he's been in and out as he's been bouncing around with the abundance of acorns that we have. Nonetheless, the day before Halloween at 9:30, he came to the scrape location where I have a scrape and a water hole. I've talked about this in some of my past videos. It's this really good transition zone on my property, right on the end of the point where I have bedding on one side, and then it opens up to the oaks and then drops down into my food plot on the other. So there's been really good activity in this area the entirety of the fall. Well, he comes in on October 30th at 9:30 p.m. He hits that scrape, and it felt really right to get in there on Halloween, hoping that he would make his way back through. Fast forward to Halloween night at 6 o'clock, and the spike that he seems to travel with a lot comes in and hits that scrape, so I'm instantly feeling good. I feel like he's got to be somewhere close by, and he came right in at 6:30, read the script perfectly, walked right into that scrape, and things were lining up. And then it was very, very quiet out in the woods. As I started to pull my bow back, it just made the slightest little swooshing noise with my arrow. It caught his attention a little bit, and he looked over in the direction of my tree stand, and then he went back to interacting with the scrape. I went ahead, I pulled back my bow, settled my pin, and unfortunately, as I shot, I did pull up a little bit, and on top of that, he also ducked the string. So pair those two things together, he got a haircut, I didn't get to fill my tag, and it was an unfortunate ending to what really was something that's very cool. And I'm just trying to take the positive out of it, because I set up this property, I set up that spot specifically for this time of the year. I knew that the bucks, on the wind conditions, the time of the year, that they should be using that area of the property, and I was going to leave it very undisturbed until that time. And everything came together perfectly. I just wasn't able to execute on the shot. And then to make that night even better, shortly after I shot that buck, the second biggest buck that's been hanging out on my property decided to come in, and he started making a variety of rubs and scrapes and hung out underneath my tree for close to a half an hour. And I think out of that half an hour he was around, he was within 20 yards for at least 25 minutes. And he was very, very active. He had a doe nearby, but he was being very aggressive. And it finally got dark enough that he started to walk off. I was able to get out of my tree stand. I went and inspected the arrow. Me and a couple buddies went out late that night just to confirm what we thought, because I did get that on trail cam video, which at this point in this clip, you have now seen that trail cam video of my shot, but we didn't recover the deer and the season rolls on. So thankfully, the good news is that buck that I did give the haircut, he came back a few days later, daylighted on one of the other scrapes on my property on November 4th. So he's still hanging around. That number 2 buck that I have that's still spending a lot of time on the property is also daylighting. We have this beautiful cold front coming into Ohio right now. We actually have a potential for snow here over the next couple of days, and I can't say that I think I've ever been more excited and anticipating the next few days of hunting more than I am right now. I feel that between my property and some of the areas that I've really been able to dial in on state land over the last week to 10 days have very good high caliber bucks in them, and I think I'm going to get a lot of really good sits in them. Now, shifting gears over to the content and the brand side of things, if you haven't seen it yet, over on my YouTube channel I have a playlist, the Hill Country Rut Terrain series, where it breaks down the 5 key terrain features in hill country that I always talk about, with very specific stand locations around those terrain features. Now is still a really good time to target those. In fact, when I'm going to be going out on both the state land and my property here, those are the exact features that I plan on targeting. And I think that if you're still got that tag in your pocket, those videos could be very useful. Now, that series has started to get a little bit more attention. Some of you may be brand new to the channel and seeing this vlog for the first time this season. So if you are new, welcome to the channel. If you've had a chance to check out any of my other content or follow the links to any of my other profiles, a little bit more about what I have going on here, my goal with all of the content that I put out is try to help everybody that watches it develop a strategy that will allow them to improve their woodsmanship skills and become better whitetail hunters, whether you're hunting public land, whether you're hunting private land, whether you're a brand new hunter who's just trying to wrap their head around it, or you've been at it for a while and you're really just trying to continue to take things to that next step. I put a ton of content out here on my YouTube channel, on my Instagram and my Facebook pages, and I also have a SKOOL community, Next Level Whitetail, where we take deep dives into mapping breakdowns. I do courses, we do live Q&A sessions. There's a ton of stuff going on all over the place, so make sure you stick around, check more of this stuff out, because right now it's a lot of tactic-based talk that I'm doing with us being in the middle of the hunting season, but once hunting season wraps up, we're gonna dive right into the off-season scouting, the land management work, so there's a lot of good stuff coming in the pipeline for you guys. Now, with it being the end of the first week of November, right in the heart of the day, I have a little bit of a to-do list to do, including editing this video, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap things up here a little bit quicker than usual, but thank you guys for tuning in to another week on this hunting season. Unfortunately, when I do look back at these videos in future seasons, I will look back at the heartbreak that I had on Halloween, but nonetheless, brighter days ahead. Things are looking up. This weather front that's coming in should be pretty special for us. If you still got a tag in your pocket, if you're grinding it out during the rut, stay positive, stay focused, because some of the best days are right in front of us. Good luck out there, guys.